I think before we start this thing, I'm gonna get a haircut. I'll be right back. Did that even work? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Welcome back, or welcome to the channel. Um, my name is Mike, and I awkwardly come in here once a week to talk to you guys, talk to camera, bring you up to speed, and let you know what I'm working on here in the studio world. I call it Roaming Cat Studios. I'm not sure why, and we'll get into that in a minute. I'm also finishing a project that I started when I turned 60 called 50 at 60, where I visited all 50 states in 1 year, the year I turned 60. And I'm kind of coming down the home stretch here pretty soon for all the videos that I've been putting together. I think I'm on state 35-ish, something like that, maybe 36. And that particular video that I'm editing now, it'll be live in a couple days. It opened up with a reenactment of something that happened. I was in West Virginia and, well, I tell the story in the video. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but the camera I'm speaking into now, which is working now, was submerged underwater for, well, good, probably solid 20 seconds by the time I got to it. Anyway, I sent it in. There's a whole thing in this video, but I sent it in to get repaired, which I didn't talk about on that video. And they quoted me, I think it was $700 for the lens. It's a 28 to 70, 24 to 70 Sony lens. And the camera's an A7S III. This was what happened. They sent me back, as far as the camera part, they said corrosion damage was found. Unfortunately, we are returning the equipment unrepaired based on our diagnostic evaluation. Attempting service would result in beyond economic repair. They basically said you're screwed. But here's your camera back. Well, I plugged it in, or put a new battery in, and it came on, and it's worked ever since. I've recorded all of my live videos on my channel that I've done. All of these Wednesday videos, I've taken it out on a couple trips since, and it's been working flawlessly. And I mean, that was back in, well, it was back over a year ago. This is in March of 2025. It's still working. Thanks, Sony. So I just wanted to talk about a couple things that I used for putting that video together. I went back and forth with ChatGPT and Claude and came up with a whole script of, it was supposed to be the camera's perspective, telling the story. I open up with a scenario that I created of the camera falling off the tripod and into the water. Used a couple of AI tools, generated some video, and then I came up with this storyboard of how the camera was going to tell the story of it while it was in the studio. I did a voiceover for it, and I don't know, come out pretty good. Nobody's going to watch it. Nobody watches these videos anyway, but I take that back. I've gotten a couple of nice comments recently, and I appreciate that. And if you're here, I am really happy to have you. That's Penny, by the way. Hold on a second. Come here. Well, then she's meowing and running off. Yeah, I had a really nice comment this past week, and a couple of them, and I just want to thank you guys. And for those who have contributed to the Buy Me a Coffee, I appreciate that too. Russell, I believe, has donated a couple of times, so thank you. So, what are we talking about, Mike? Oh, I got to look at my script here. What do I have going on? Oh, I'm going to introduce, we're going to get off of the 50 at 60 subject and talk a little bit about Roaming Cat Studios. Now, that's a name I came up with. Right now, it links to my Roaming Cats channel, my website that I came up with when I first started dabbling in AI image and video creation a while ago. Since then, I've really been working on a lot of video projects now. In fact, I've got at least 10 up on the whiteboard that I'm working on. And the one I want to introduce today is this one here. I did a little poster for it, Commander Salamander. And there's a story behind this character, and it was derived and created while I was traveling through Oregon. I was in the Columbia River Gorge area. Well, I was in the Columbia River Gorge. And I tell the story on one of my videos. If I remember, I'll do a link to that one. I had pulled up onto a scene, and it was a pretty tragic scene. Somebody had passed away, a young person. I found out later it was a young girl in her early 20s. And I have a daughter in her 20s, so it really kind of hit me like a ton of bricks when I found that out. I didn't know that when I was there and when the cops were around. I was talking to some people who had actually seen it happen. I didn't know that till I found the news story later of what had happened. But anyway, there was I've always had this name, Commander Salamander, in my head, and I went to go on a hike and I saw this little picture of a salamander. They were talking about the different animals that were in the area. And I thought of that, and I'm thinking, because apparently this girl, from what I heard, got off the trail at some point and wandered too close to the edge and fell. And one of the guys they were interviewing on the news, I think he was a policeman, but he was kind of park ranger-ish looking. And I started thinking about how, I don't know, I just thought of Commander Salamander. And then I wrote a blog post about him. And he's kind of this character that nobody takes seriously. He's a little too big for his britches, so to speak. He has all these great, fantastic ideas, but they laugh at him until he's needed, or until something happens and they realize that whatever he did he was correct at the very beginning. He was just trying to save lives. And every one of these stories takes this twist. So I worked with Claude, went back and forth. I have like about 25 scripts, short stories. Each one's going to be like a minute and a half long. It's just a silly little thing. And when I'm creating these AI short stories, there's a couple of different ways to do it. And one is to generate short clips, then put them in the timeline and do your music after the fact, your special effects sounds, and be a little bit more hands-on. Another approach is to go this director or agent route where you hand off some character boards, maybe some reference sheets, some environmental plates, the script, and kind of have the agent craft the video together. And that was the route I went with Commander Salamander so far. I've done 5 of them, and they do eat up a lot of credits. And I mean, they eat up a lot of credits. I did this on OpenArt.ai, and I believe Higgsfield has another way to do this as well. And the channel I'll share at the very end talks about that, and I'll talk about that once we get a little further here in the show flow. So what am I sharing next? Oh, that was so this here was the poster I did, and this was a little character board showing Commander Salamander and his little megaphone and all basically the color and the look and the feel. And then this was just a character board. I tried a couple of different variations. This is the one I kind of landed on. And then debuting for the very first time is the first episode of Commander Salamander. Let's watch.
Overlook secure. Cushion rig armed. We are go for scenery.
It's a photo spot, man.
Every overlook is a war zone. Gravity is undefeated.
It's fine. I've got great balance.
Ma'am, the rope is load-bearing morale. Please respect the rope.
It's a rope on toothpicks.
Deploying contingency. Please hold.
Steady, citizen. The commander has you. Reeling in.
I'm so sorry I called it toothpicks.
No apology required, citizen. The rope forgives.
New situation. Puddle, Sector 4. Deploying cones.
Okay, so if you watch that again, there's a lot of mistakes in it. There's a few things I have to fix. And what I want to do before I release it on my new channel is I want to tease it up at the beginning with an intro card and then an outro. And I have to extend the music because it cuts off. And again, I think every one of these going forward is going to, because it's one of the few projects I'm working on where I do want to hand that off to an agent. As long as I prime the agent well enough, and I'm learning a little bit more and more on every run and how to get better at this. And that's probably how I finish the project out, and I'll be releasing them on my Roaming Cats YouTube channel, which I'll link to below if I can remember. What's up? People want to say hi. Hold on. Come here. Come here. Come here. I couldn't catch her. Get in here. She wants to play hide and seek, I believe. So, where are we at here? Oh, I showed you Commander Salamander. There's going to be more of those. I love that little character. In fact, I was thinking about trying to get a little 3D printed version of him, which I think you can do on Amazon. I don't know how good they are, but I could see like a little character on the desk to inspire me. All right, so I'm not going to edit that cough out because we don't edit around here except for that little intro. So that leads me to my channel of the week because this guy did a really good job at comparing OpenArt versus Higgsfield using the agent part of things. And that is Grandpa Does AI. And this channel is pretty new. The guy's got 22 videos, about 300 and some subscribers, but he gets a lot of interaction in the comments, and he what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, interaction, I think. That's the word. Interaction. Yeah, it's a great channel. So he's got again, that's just a screenshot of his channel, and I'll link to it below. And yeah, he's doing what I probably will not be doing on my next channel. I think I haven't even started it yet, but I want to share all the projects I'm doing. But in addition to that, I either want to do shorts or lives or something where maybe I talk about the projects. I don't necessarily teach as much as he's doing or some of these other guys are doing, but I want there to be a human side to it. I don't want it just to be a faceless channel. And you got to say hi to the folks. Come here. Ooh. Oh, did you hear that little squeal? Say hi to the folks, Penny. This is Penny the cat. and she is my buddy. My my ex-wife got this cat. Suggested I should be the father of this cat. She found it under a dumpster at work, if you can believe. When she was a kitten. She was like 5 weeks old, maybe younger. And so yeah, she's been a staple here in the studio ever since. That's all I got for this week. Thanks for joining, checking it out. And again, I'll do a link to Grandpa Does AI's channel. And eventually, when I get my Roaming Cats channel up, that will be linked here as well. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. How do I sign out? Goodbye.